Well, that, of course, was the fantastic Blue Zoo with their 1982 hit Cry Boy Cry. And I'm very pleased to say on the phone now is the lead singer from the band, Andy Ho. Good evening to you, Andy.
Evening, Gary. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. How good was that to hear on the radio waves? I mean, it's a big track, played a lot anyway, but it's nice to hear your music out there, surely.
It's lovely. It's fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, and of course, we've got you on the radio tonight because the band's back together, as they say, isn't it? And you're back out there doing it. How does that feel?
That's right, yeah. Yeah, we got back together in 2010. We've been doing some shows out and about. We've been out to the Philippines, been up and down the country, so it's been really good. It's been loving it.
Yeah, and has it been something different about this time round than when you was doing it back in the 80s?
Yeah, definitely. I've kind of wanted to revisit the earlier part of Blue Zoo, which Modern Jazz, which was the initial name was Modern Jazz, and then we went into called ourselves Blue Zoo.
Yeah.
But it was that early period that I wanted to go back to because I just loved the songs. I just really wanted to go back to those songs.
Yeah.
One of which you played, The Attic.
Yeah.
So we're kind of playing a whole bunch of those songs at the moment, and we've added a new guitarist he still plays now and again with Bliss, a band called Bliss. It's kind of a lot heavier guitar sound, and we've got keyboards still, but they don't dominate at all. They play the main and crucial parts of those songs.
But I suppose that's a little bit of a step change, isn't it, from the 80s to now? I mean, is there maybe less keyboards in music now? I mean, the 80s was very keyboard based, wasn't it? It went into the mid 80s.
Absolutely, but I suppose we weren't really that keyboard dominated,
no, right.
But there were some important lines in the songs that you have to because they're kind of hooky, so you have to bring those in and accentuate those. But it's a lot more guitar orientated because this Tommy Morrison, who's come from Bliss into the band, he brings that with him, so it's got a lot more edge to it.
Yeah, no, I'm listening to it. It sounds fantastic. And going on the website and look at some of the YouTube stuff from some of your gigs, and that's really good stage presence you've got. You haven't lost it, mate. You've still got it.
Thanks very much. No, I've risen to the occasion. I mean, it's like I've been given the chance to pop out again and say hello and do it, and I've been loving it, Did you have to go on any sort of, because this is an interesting question for me, did you have to go on any sort of fitness regime to get stage fitness back up, or did you have it anyway? Because that is hard work what you do, isn't it, out there? Yes, it is. I'll tell you what, I go jogging a lot more now.
Yeah.
Well, but because I've stepped it up even more because recent gigs I've just been going a bit loopy, So. But that's because I've been I've sort of doubled up on the jogging, and it's given me a lot more energy.
Yeah, well, that's good, isn't it? I mean, because it's, as I say, people, I think they underestimate how hard that is for the front man out there doing the bits, singing and entertaining and doing the stuff, And, I mean, I know everyone works hard in the band, you can see that, but it does work. One of the things I've maybe noticed a bit, fashion from the 80s. How much of that have you brought forward into the new performances? Because you came out of the sort of like the punk era, didn't you? And I know at the times there was a lot of likeness to the Bowie stuff, some of the 70s Bowie stuff within what you do, from what I could see. Is that a lot of that fashion come through as well, or is it a new look?
It's pretty much a new look.
Yeah.
But obviously, I just grab stuff, whatever catches my eye, But no, I haven't brought through all the. I couldn't pop up there in the old in that spandex stuff anymore. That I had on top of the pops and stuff.
Yeah.
But no, it's a bit more. It's still. I still like to wear. I still like to wear stuff that gives something different on stage.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to pop up there in my everyday attire.
No.
So it'll be something different. For stage, but not spandex.
Not spandex, no. And the hair's a bit different now as well.
Yeah. Back to my normal colour.
Yeah.
Got a bit of a floppy fringe at the moment, so that's quite 80s.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that all sounds great. That all sounds great. You mentioned Top of the Pops as well. Now the band you know, when you get invited to play on Top of the Pops, and we don't have that programme. And we talked the other day, didn't we? Say bring back Top of the Pops. It was
absolutely, what a great programme it was.
It was just one of the best things on telly, and I think kids nowadays would still, you know, just love that, and I would be drawn to it. How does it feel when you get invited to play on Top of the Pops? Is it a feeling of we've made it? This is it. We've actually cracked this.
Yeah, kind of. It's a whole day affair, though. You know, you go there, you go from 9 o'clock, and you don't leave there till 9 o'clock in the evening.
Really? Wow.
It's all day. You're there all day.
Yeah.
You have like a plainclothes rehearsal, and then a dress rehearsal, and then, you know, so forth.
Yeah.
So you're around that whole day. So it becomes a bit of a day's work. It's a day's work, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not just like 3.5 minutes. Oh, here's Blue Zoo. You know, you can get up and do your song. It's a whole day's thing, you know.
And do you get looked after? We always have this image that it's all gloss on the screen, and then you go back to sort of a small cupboard of a dressing room. Are you looked after? Are you sort of well taken care of there? Is it good facilities?
Sure, yeah. They got their canteens, BBC canteen.
Right.
Not particularly, no. You know.
I hear all sort of legendary stuff about the BBC canteen. Actually, it's I don't know whether they've ever upgraded it really, but
I can't remember much about it. All I remember is coming across Boy George and him giving me the sort of the eyes, you know.
Yeah. So of course they were your sort of peers at the time, weren't they? Culture Club and bands like that.
Yes, they were. They were on the same show. They were actually number one when we did. I think the second appearance, they were number one.
Yeah. And so when was your first year that you was on Top of the Pops? Can you remember? When would you have been? What was your first
song?
Yeah,
it was November, November 1982.
Right, so that would have been with Cry Boy Cry. Yeah. That's it. And because that was your biggest charting hit.
That indeed, it was.
And do you still find that when you do your gigs, it's the one that people wait for, or are there tracks that have more meaning to the fans and to you than that? Because that was maybe more commercially successful, but for yourself, there's other tracks that mean more.
Yeah, I mean, Cry Boy Cry obviously is the one that everyone remembers. So when you do it, everyone's singing along to it. And the other songs, sure. I mean, other songs, Love Moves in Strange Ways, which was like a single of the week in NME, etc., which I think should have been a hit. It should have been released after Cry Boy Cry, actually. But that's one of my favourite Blue Zoo songs.
Yeah.
Which we do now. We still do that. So
that's still part of your set.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. And I suppose the bands, as once you get commercial success, you're battling between what sort of artistically and critically what you want to do, and then what is commercially where you get driven as well. Did the band find that as it went on through its career, that commercial drivers? Yeah,
unfortunately it did.
That was a bit of a loaded question, really. I
know. I mean, the Cry Boy Cry was a crossroads.
Yeah.
You know, it was a hit, but we either kind of went left or right of it.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, we went the wrong side of it.
Right. Okay.
But other people may not think that. Other, people that heard the singles that followed that may have loved them. Yeah, and there were plenty of people bought the singles that followed the Cry Boy Cry.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And Somewhere in the World There's a Cowboy Smiling. I thought that was the best single we did following Cry Boy Cry.
And we've got that coming up later in the show, of course, as well. So we'll be playing that for the listeners as well. So we've got all that to come. Yeah. Now you've been gigging again, and you're gigging in the local area, aren't you? Next weekend.
Yeah.
Where's that?
I thought a while ago. I thought because the band was sounding really good. I thought it'll be a really good time to go back to Braintree and play a set. Yeah. Because we haven't been down there. I haven't played down there since Blue Zoo, and that was at Braintree College.
Yeah, wow.
In 1982.
Wow.
And that was a great night.
Yeah.
So it'd be this is really going to be up close and personal, which is how it all started for me in Braintree with the rave back in 1979.
Yeah.
It was all up close, very up close and personal, very sweaty.
Oh yeah. A lot of clubs in Braintree were like that then.
Sorry?
A lot of the clubs in Braintree were like that for music scene, weren't they? You had a number of clubs around Braintree, and as I have over the years, there's been a number of small clubs that have really promoted local music quite well.
Yeah.
I mean, did you find that at the time for you that Braintree was quite good at promoting local bands?
Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, we did a lot of it ourselves.
Right, yeah.